What's up, guys? Welcome back to the rating climb. We're going to try again. This is the second time. We're going to try to get to 1825. We had a loss at the end of the last stream and kind of went the wrong way. So let's go ahead and try this again. New game. All right. D4. I'm going to play D5. And looks like a London. So there's a couple of interesting traps that we can try. 1800 is kind of the level where I would still be okay trying some of these traps. But much higher than that's probably not going to turn out well. We're going to try it. We're going to try it and see what happens here. Let's play H5. I believe this is a crazy one that I've seen. I think if they play E3... Okay, so they're aware of what's happening. Basically, you can sacrifice a pawn with E5 and you can actually trap the bishop, but white is very sharp today and they know what's happening. Okay. Let's just develop some pieces. We do have this interesting dynamic in the position now with these moves thrown in, which is probably better for white, honestly. But, you know, maybe we can use it as a way to attack the king side or something. I don't know. All right, let's see. Let's see. Which setup do I want to go for here? I don't want to overthink it too much. Let's just develop the bishop. Let's just develop. Let's play E6. We'll just keep it simple. We'll just develop the pieces and get to the middle game. Let's play bishop D6, all for a trade. White's probably going to play knight E5, I would imagine. Okay. Let's go knight to D7, keep attacking that knight on E5. Okay, so I have to be careful here with C6. Why do I have to be careful with C6? Does anybody see why? Well, it has to do with the fact that the bishop would then be undefended, and now I have to watch out for tactics where I actually lose my bishop. For example, a move like this attacks my queen. I have to deal with that, but when I take it, then I lose the bishop. So I think that would be a mistake to play C6. So what else can I play? Castling? It's a little risky because of the H-pawn. A6 to try to force this trade. Looks like it's probably okay, because if everything just trades here, that should be fine for me. Let me just verify there's not any traps. Yeah, I think I'll go with A6. And notice the key difference is that I'm leaving this bishop defended, right? So if this knight ever tries to do anything weird, I always have that bishop defended. Okay, so let's go ahead and recapture it this way. I'm just checking for tactics. I don't really see anything, so I'll go ahead and do that. All right, now I'm thinking about this H5 move, and I'm thinking about something like F6, G5, G4, H4, maybe like launching an attack on the king, because it looks like I can do it with tempo, which is kind of a big deal. I guess I don't even have to play F6. I could play G5 straight away. That's an interesting move. Where's the bishop going to go? Probably all the way back. And then I can just push again and just really open up the king side. I think I'm going to do that. Let's see what happens if white throws in a trade. I'd probably take the bishop. The knight would probably go back. Takes. Then my queen, I guess, comes over. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty happy with that position. It looks like I'm going to get an attack going. The other thing I could do would be to trade. No, I'm going to go for this. A very aggressive move, but since white is castled, and I already had that H5 move played, and H3 is here, I'm trying to take advantage of that. He does retreat. Okay. And G4, basically what I'm trying to accomplish is trade off the pawn so that my rook can attack. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Normally, H4 might be an option, but in this case, my queen is controlling it. F4. Wow. Played so quickly, too. Interesting. So he's giving me this pawn, it looks like, which I'm going to take, I believe. I believe I'm going to take that. Because not only do I win a pawn, I'm opening up the king, which is really the more important thing. So I'm going to do that. And wow. Wow. Okay. So yes, white temporarily stops the attack, but look at the bishop. I mean, look at the bishop. Just look at it. That can't be good. That cannot be good. All right. Wow. So, okay. I'm thinking about a couple of things. Maybe knight coming over here so that I can take advantage of some of these squares. Robin B, hey, you just got a membership. Cool, thank you. H4 probably gets, yeah, I think I'm going to bring the knight in and try to take advantage of maybe this square. Because if I move something there and get this set up, this bishop is basically done for the rest of the game, which is pretty nice. All right, let's play knight of 6. Let's play knight of 6. And like I said, I'm kind of just keeping an eye on these squares. And at some point, I would really like to move my queen castle and get the rook to come over here. But I also could just use this rook now that the pawn is defended. And that's obviously a lot faster. This is going to take me 1, 2, 3 moves, or I could do it immediately. Could also jump in here. Could also jump in here. A lot of options. I could even trade first and then jump in with the knight. I think I want to just start by bringing the rook over, honestly. I feel like that's where the rook needs to be. Let's do that. Let's go ahead. Start to position this where it needs to be. Elston's going to lose. Why would you say that? This position looks great for me. Look at this bishop. This looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. Could play b5 or c6 to chase away the queen. I think c6 looks a little bit more solid, although b5 is not bad either. It does gain a tempo. Opens up this square for the knight, which probably don't really care about. I will play b5, actually. Notice the tempo I'm talking about. White has to waste a move moving the queen. Look at that. There you go. So we just got that for free, essentially. Okay. But what happens if I play h4 just to attack this? How does white defend that? How does white defend that? Queen. Then I can keep attacking it, maybe with a knight move. Yep, we're going to play h4. I look stressed. I always look stressed. Always look stressed. Oh, g4. Didn't think about that. But there's too many pieces. It's not a good move. I have 3 pieces attacking that. It's only defended twice. It's only defended twice, and I could even take this if I wanted to. So, should I take that? The only thing about taking this is that it opens up the F file. I don't know that I want to do. So I think I'm just going to take with the knight. Yeah, we're just going to take it. It's a free pawn. And now the king is open. And white is in big trouble. I'm going to take here. Another tempo gain. Got the discovered check to follow. And there's got to be... Ooh. Check. The king tries to run. We come down. Check. The king has to come up. Is there a checkmate? We can get our piece back. We can also go here and just take the rook. That's another way to... Ooh, wait a second. Checkmate. Ooh. I don't know if I've seen a checkmate like that in a while. So what does white have to do? Yeah, it's over. They could go... Oh, no, they could go in the corner if I go there. They could go in the corner. Wow. Okay. Where's the checkmate? I need the queen to come over. I could just play a slow move, like bring the queen over. No, I think I got to take advantage of this. All right. I just don't know where to go. You just don't know where to go. All right, I'm going to do this. He's going to play king h1. I'm going to... Oh, never mind. That's an interesting checkmate. Haven't seen that one in a while. I've not seen that one in a while. Who said I was going to lose? Who said it? Daniel? All right, let's see the game review. I think we played pretty well. Yeah, 93. Pretty happy with that. Real quick. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, h5 is questionable, but they did see the idea. So just to show you guys, like this, I think we could play e5. And the point is, the bishop actually gets trapped. So you play f6, and wherever it goes, you have the pawn set up to trap it. Now, even though you win a piece, your king side is kind of messed up. So it's not like totally winning, but it's an interesting way to play it. But our opponent has seen that before, I guess. Played h3. And then right here, yeah, they didn't know how to handle the pawn storm here and kind of fell apart. They retreat. And then right here, yeah, that was not a good decision, just allowing me to totally open up the king. Let's see what does Stockfish say? The best thing to do was to start trading some stuff. Because if I take with the queen, now they can actually play h4 and try to get a blockade going. Interesting. Yeah, so that's the thing about pawn storms. What you have to remember is the goal most of the time is to create open files for the rooks. Because once you create an open file for the rook to get involved, that's where it gets really dangerous. If you can accomplish this, kind of like Stockfish did here, where the pawns just get pushed by, then the rooks can't infiltrate. So that's sort of the key thing to think about. In the game, what we saw was, look at this. Now the rook's coming in, right? If white captures here, this is happening immediately. And even the way they did it, it's still a half open file. I can still get my rook involved like this. And then white was giving me extra moves by doing stuff like this, right? So I had free tempos. And then you saw the danger, right? It was that fast. There was checkmate. Now, better move would have been king h1. I think I was going to take this and play rook g2. Let's see. Yeah, that's what Stockfish says. I was going to do this. And I guess white's going to move here. And then I think maybe queen f6. Let's see. Stockfish says just take the pawn. What if I just play queen f6? What happens here? Yeah, still pretty good for me. I'm going to probably castle, get the other rook involved. Queen maybe is going to come in like this or something, or like this, and it's pretty good for me. Okay, let's play another game. 1815. So hey Harry, welcome. How's it going? Another French. Man, I'm not doing what I did last time. We're going to go with the mainstream. Robin, hey, thank you. Gifted 5 memberships. All right. Appreciate you. Stuck in the past. Was gifted a membership. Okay, perfect. Winnower. I like this because I have a line that I like to play. Queen to d3. Oh, why am I... Sorry, guys. I apologize. I apologize. I'll show you what happened since I was covering the screen. We had a French defense. Knight c3. Bishop b4. Queen to d3. This is a line that I like to play. And you're going to see why. So basically what we do, the knight is pinned. So we can't take with the knight. We take with the queen. And we're going to get attacked by the knight. For sure. And then what we're going to do is relocate it over here to h4. Now, why do we put our queen on h4? Usually black's going to castle. And if they do, we are ready to attack their king. This is actually the perfect square for the queen to attack the king. Look at this, and look at this. These 3 pieces, okay, black is actually delaying it, which I think is smart. So we're going to defend our pawn. It's attacked twice. So we're going to defend with the knight first. So we're not going to get to do it. Black is actually pretty sharp here, but if a lot of people will castle. And then we could play bishop d3, bishop g5, and we actually get a really nice, hard to stop checkmating attack on the king. But black is probably making a good decision, right? Of course I could trade, but I could also play bishop g5. Bishop g5 might run into f6, but the thing about f6 is it creates some light square weaknesses. Bishop g5, if the knight takes, I'm happy to win the queen. I think that's going to be good enough. So I believe we would see f6. Then I could actually just drop back. And am I happy with the weaknesses that I created with f6? I think I am. So I am going to play bishop g5. Trying to induce this move so that I can take advantage of the light square weaknesses. It'll be like bishop d3, queen h5. Okay. And now I do want to deal with this threat, so we're going to go back to d2. So, you know, in some positions, guys, this would be a wasted move, right? Like, in some positions, like, oh, black gets this move f6 for free, and now I have to go back and I just wasted a move. But in this case, I wanted to see that move. So do you see the difference? Like in the last game when my opponent brought their queen out and I was able to play pawn to b5 and they had to go back, they wasted a move because that was kind of a useful move for me anyway. In this position, I'm basically saying, no, I don't think this is a useful move. I think this is a weakening move that I'm going to try to take advantage of. So there's a key difference. And you have to think about that before you just randomly throw your bishops out there. You have to understand if the pawn comes up, is that a good thing for you or not? I'm going to take with the pawn. I'm going to keep bishop for now. Okay, and here we go. Bishop d3, and you're going to see black's going to have to be very careful about what they do next. So here we go. Queen h5 is a very significant threat, I would say. And let's see how black's going to deal with that. I guess they could play but f5 then opens up the square again. I don't know if that's actually good for black either. Bam, you joined and instantly got a membership. Hey, there you go. You can thank Robin. Thank Robin for that. Cameron's 1900, learning a lot from this series, especially the recent games. Cool. Aha, so he does go for f5. Notice it was a very difficult problem for black to solve, right? That was a very serious threat. But now, again, we can go back to, okay, what weaknesses were created? And I'm looking at these squares in particular. So probably knight or bishop now to g5, what I'm thinking. Now, I have to be careful with knight to g5 because h6, no, we have queen h5, so that's not a move. So I could play knight to g5, but also play bishop to g5. And I won't get pinned. And I would still have similar ideas. So it's a question of, is it better for black if those are traded or not? And I don't necessarily know the answer. I don't know the answer. I'm gonna leave the bishops on only because I feel like it cramps up black's position a little bit more. And if they want to take me, then fine. I'll have the bishop pair, and we'll go from there. Notice I am being very careful about putting myself into a pin, but I see that if h6 is played, I have queen h5. So let's go ahead with knight to g5. Yeah, that's right, Ben. Right, you got, okay. He plays it anyway, which doesn't look good because now the king has to run over here. Only move here for black, and that's not gonna end well. I can tell you that. So I'm immediately looking at this move because if the king takes, it looks like we're gonna have checkmate. Queen takes, king goes over here. Check, knight blocks. Good enough for me. Yeah, check and checkmate. So that does lead to checkmate if the king takes. So the queen would have to move, let's say here. Then I can grab a bunch of pawns if I want, or any number of other things. So yeah, I don't even think I have to consider any other moves. I mean, this maybe is a move, but I don't even think I need to think about it. I think we just do this. And notice the light squares, guys. It all goes back to bishop g5 earlier, right? We induced that. We made that happen essentially. Not we didn't make it happen, but we kind of encouraged it, right? And here we go. Yeah, this leads to checkmate. We already looked at this, so it's captures with the queen. It's bishop f4. Let's just verify. Only move is the knight blocks. We take with check. Oh, actually, I just want to make sure I'm not messing this up. Maybe black can survive, but they're still going to lose their piece, which is good enough for me. I still thought there was a checkmate. Hold on, check. So if I take this way, the king can run back. Is there really not a checkmate here? Hold on. All right, who sees the checkmate? There's got to be a... I refuse to believe there's not mate here. I refuse to believe it. Check, check. We could do that too. Let's see. All right, I think this is the correct way to start, and then I'm still searching. Still searching. I'm gonna go here. Our queen is under attack, but we're gonna be putting the king in check, so that's not an issue. We have this move, we have this move, we have queen here. I don't think it's a queen move back because then the king can escape. We don't want to let the king escape, which means this might be the move, because then the rook can come over. Unless, of course, you block. Yeah, this has got to be the move, right? Should be 5, I guess, is also an option. No, I think this is probably it. Still don't see mate, but I'm just kind of going on my instincts of this is how it needs to happen. Then rook to b1 should be a move. Now we have a double check. Now it's important that it's a double check because otherwise I would just lose my queen. See that? But double checks, you can't take the queen. So you'd still be in check from the bishop. So we'll do that. King has to move. Yeah, and then we have checkmate. All right. 2 mistakes. So we did mess something up. We'll see what it is. Game review. Oh. 97 accuracy, but 2 mistakes. What? 1 mistake now? 1 brilliant move? Okay. Let's go eval bar and let's see what we did. So our opponent did know enough to not castle. Now, you can actually castle. There's nothing wrong with it, according to Stockfish, but you have to be really, really good at defending if you're going to do that. Because once I get bishop d3 and bishop g5 in, and I'm taking that knight, there's checkmate on h7. As an example, this is what I'm talking about. Bishop d3. Let's just say black is kind of unaware of what's going on. They play a random move. I play bishop g5. If they're not careful, terrible move, but I'm going to take the knight, and I'm going to checkmate. I'm oversimplifying it, but that's kind of the plan, right? Now, in this case, black maybe could have played some better moves, and I would still have to figure things out. Even here, bishop takes h7 is another little tactic because you have the pin, and it's not good for black. Look at this, right? Just to give you an idea. But our opponent was smart enough to know that, didn't want to do that. Bishop g5, best move, cool. In f6. Yeah, and that was not the best move for black. They should have actually played bishop e7. And it goes back to creating these light square weaknesses on your king side before you've had a chance to really get your king safe is very, very risky, right? And that's what we saw. Okay, good move. D3. So Stockfish said queen h5 check was actually a little better. And on g6, you just sink the queen in on h6. And then I guess the knight comes in later. Okay. But knight g5 wasn't a mistake. It says it's a mistake, but it wasn't a mistake. It was just not as good as queen h5. And that was obviously the blunder. Let's see. Knight takes c6. Brilliant move. Cool. Okay, best move. Oh, it's mate in 19. Well, no wonder I didn't see it. Mate in 19. All right, who can find it? Anybody see mate in 19? I'm kidding. All right, bishop f4 check was the best move. Bishop takes was the best move. Was the best move. The best move. So black could have survived longer. Oh, they had to sack the queen. They had to sack the queen, and then they could survive longer. But if they don't sack the queen, it's faster. But yeah, we played all the right moves. And even though I didn't see the checkmate, how did I know that these were the right moves? Well, this one, I just was thinking like, can I lure the king out and follow it up with a queen check? Whenever you can get a queen close to a king, it's almost always close to being checkmate. So that's how I started it. And then I noticed you don't ever, whenever you have a king that's on like the third or the sixth rank, you don't want to let it go backwards and run away and hide, because that usually means your attack is over if that ever happens. So a move like this, well, now the king is going to run away, and guess what? I'm not checkmating that king anytime soon. Yeah, I can throw in one more check, but then he's going to just run. What am I going to do? So right here, I have it cut off. It can't go backwards. So bishop f4 is the only logical move to keep attacking the king without letting it go back, right? We got the piece back. And again, which way do I want to capture? The bishop, because I need the queen to control that square so the king can't run away and hide, right? Same concept. So this is true a lot of the times when you're attacking a king like this. And then again, I want to keep the queen here, right? So if I play a move like queen e4, let's say, the king's going to be able to probably run away. Yeah, they're still checkmate somehow, but it's more complicated. So this one is logical. You keep the retreat squares controlled, and the king has to keep running out. Oh, wins on my scoreboard? Yeah, I did miss some, didn't I? Is it 2 games, right? This is the second game we played? Second game, I think? Somebody tell me if that's right. 208, I think it is. 20% of the time you can't see a mate in 1 unless you know it's there. Yeah, you got to work on your tactics. That'll come with time. So, all right. And then here, another important point here that I was trying to show during the game. If I were to move this bishop, let's just say over here, because I think, oh, it's a check, and I'm going to win a rook. Now I'm losing the game. Why? Because the bishop would actually just take my queen. You deal with the check, you're black, and you win a queen. So I can't do that. But this move, it's a double check, which is important, right? Because now black can't do this. It's not a legal move because of the bishop. So just pay attention to those things. Okay. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, but I'm going to give you guys a puzzle to work on while I'm doing that. And then I'll finish up and hopefully win the last game. So let me go get a analysis board here. I have one that I picked out. And you guys can see if you can solve. Let me actually do the... No, this is fine. I'll leave it like this. Okay, hold on. Let me see the puzzle here. The puzzle is... White's king is here. And pawn is here. Black's king here. Pawn is here. It is black to move. All right. And black plays the move h5. Now, before I go, I'll tell you what's going on. Black is trying to obviously get a queen. Your pawn is going this way. White to play and get a draw, so not lose the game. How do you not lose the game in this position if you are white? Your pawn's going this way, black's pawn's going this way. How do you not lose? Think about that, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. Let's see. Pushing the pawn is a wasted move. King to b4. Okay. So let's actually move forward. You are correct. King to b4 is the move. Now, before we do that, the first thing you need to understand is if you push the pawn, black's king is going to come here and get it, and you lose your pawn, right? And the other thing you have to understand is that if you try to just go catch this pawn, there's a little trick you can do. And the trick is you make a diagonal. You make a box, right? This. If your king can step into that box anywhere, then you can catch the pawn, right? But what's the problem with our king? Can it step into the box? No, we're not. I mean, we're actually 2 moves away, right? We need to get to here. We're 2 moves away. So that's why this position kind of looks hopeless for white. Your pawn is going to get stopped. You can't catch black's pawn. What could the idea possibly be? So the correct move is king to b4. And now black has, let's see, I think there's 2 main lines here. So we'll start with if they push the pawn. Okay, what do you do? And then we'll come back to king to b6 after that. So let's say they play h4. And now what is the move for white? Let me actually give you guys some options. We're going to do a poll here. So it's going to be number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay? And by the way, there's only one correct move. So let's do the poll and see what you guys think. All right, so we have c7. We have king to c5. We have king to c4. And we have king to c3. I want to see what everybody thinks. All right, here we go. Poll is coming your way. Win should be 209. Okay, Robin, I'm going to take your word on that and say 209. Thank you. King c5. Okay, so most people are saying king c5. Few people are saying push the pawn now. Okay, so thank you guys for the poll. If you push the pawn, the problem is the king is now going to get it, and you still have the same problem. Can you step into the box? And you cannot. You're going to lose. King to c5 is the correct move, and there's something about the king that you need to understand. It's called the crooked path. So in chess, if I want to go get this pawn, let's say I just had like 5 free moves or something. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would be able to take the pawn. I could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would be able to take the pawn. I could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would be able to take the pawn. Do you see how I can get there in the exact same amount of moves? Doesn't matter if I go in a straight line or move diagonally. So normally, you're thinking like the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That's not true in chess with the king. The king can zigzag whichever way he wants. As long as the diagonal is moving towards where you want to go and you come back at some point in time, right? Like this path or like this path, you can get there. Why am I explaining that? Because what this allows you to do is do 2 things at the same time, which is chase the pawn, but also keep an eye on your pawn and potentially escort your pawn for a queen. So that's why king to c5 is the correct move. I'm going to end the poll. King to c5. And you're threatening 2 different things. You might go this way and try to get a queen. You might go this way and stop the pawn. Okay, so let me see what's the main line here. So black plays h3. So what's the move? I think you guys probably have the idea, but I want to give everybody a chance to make sure you're following. All right, and again, if you push the pawn now, it's too early because the king jumps in and stops you, and we're not catching this guy anymore. Okay? c7 is not correct. You have to take the time, go king to d6. And now you are threatening to get the queen. So for example, h2, c7, and look at this. We're just in time. If black gets a queen, we get a queen, right? Queen, queen. Game is a draw. If black tries to stop us, what do? We move our king up. We're still going to get a queen. Black gets a queen, we get a queen. Okay? So, it's a dual threat. Okay? Now, going back to the beginning, when we played king to b4, black could have also played king to b6. Now, what do we do against this move? What do we do against this move? Yep, you guys are correct. It's basically the same thing. We keep going over, and we keep creating these dual threats, right? So black can push the pawn, and we will sort of transpose to the same thing. What should we play here? What's the winning move here? I'm sorry, not the winning move. The drawing move. Which king move is it? Yeah, most of you got it. Some people are still saying d4. So it's d5. Okay, it's d5. Remember, let's say we want to go here. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? It doesn't matter. Let's say we want to go even here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. Even still, 4 moves, we can stop the pawn if we need to over there. Okay? That's why we have to go here, because now we're defending our pawn and we're also threatening to go here, and black has to waste time to deal with that. If they just push the pawn, guess what? We come up, and now we're going to get our own queen. Okay? So black has to say, no, I'm not going to let you do that. But guess what? Now we change plans and we go stop this guy. And look at the box now. Remember that little trick? Look at the box. Here it is. We're just barely stepping into it, but we're in time. See that? We did this number, but we still got there. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be this way, right? This is what you have to understand. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay? Now, black, instead of pushing the pawn, could have also taken our pawn. And what do we do now? This one's pretty straightforward because if you look at the box, any of these squares would be fine. Okay? So this move or this move would step into the box, and we're able to catch the pawn like this. Cool? So crooked path is what it's called. Remember that with your king. If you're trying to go somewhere, you don't have to go in a straight line. You can go like this. And in endgames like this, especially with pawns where there's like pawns on different sides of the board, you can do some pretty amazing things, right? Like if you look at the starting position, this looks hopeless for white. This looks like, yeah, we're done for, right? Black's getting my pawn. I can't stop. It's over. It's very easy to think that this is just totally losing, right? So, okay, cool. Let's go continue the rating climb now that you guys know about the crooked path and see if we can get to 1825. All right. New game. I'm going to go back over here. English. All right, I'll show you guys what I like to play against the English. It's e5 and bishop to b4. Oh, he plays g3. No. So normally they play knight c3 and I can play bishop to b4. I'm not going to be able to do it now, which makes me really sad. So yeah, I don't really have anything fancy that I play against this. It's just kind of normal stuff. Develop, get the center. Hey, welcome to Grandmasters in Training. Barack, thank you. Appreciate you. Gonna take, I guess we just take this. I don't really know the theory now. I'm kind of out of my comfort zone. Let's go ahead and just trade some stuff off. We'll keep it simple. I don't want to overthink this. Should a box always be 4x4 squares? If you're referring to the box where you're trying to catch the pawn, no. because you make a diagonal, and it depends on how far advanced the pawn is down the file, right? Some boxes are going to be smaller if it's closer to becoming a queen. Some are going to be bigger. So it's based on how far the pawn is down. If I'm understanding your question, unless you're asking something else. Okay. So I don't really know the setup for the pieces here. Bishop c5 kind of makes sense, but it also kind of feels like I'm going to get chased away with d4 at some point. So I'm actually going to play bishop to d6, which looks a little bit counterintuitive blocking it, but I feel like this is where it needs to be. And I'm going to go ahead and castle. And I want to just get out of the opening. I feel like my opponent knows more of the opening than I do, which is fine, but I just want to get past this phase of the game. And so that's what I'm trying to kind of focus on now. So let's see. I'm going to play c6, trying to blunt the effectiveness here, but also giving my queen some options. Okay. I would like to get this knight out. I also would like to get the bishop out, but I want to be careful about this b file here. So I might just delay that temporarily and do some other pieces for now. Let me actually do that. If your opponent never stopped copying your moves, who would win? Yeah, you could set a little trap if they do that. You could set a trap to where you're able to play a good move with check or something to where they can't copy you. They have to deal with the threat, and then you could get out of the copycat. That would be the best way to do it. c4, okay. So I'm thinking maybe rook e8, just adding some defense here and also potentially putting it where it might be useful if we open up the e file. I'm just trying to keep a very solid position right now and get past the opening here. Okay, can I play this? I can. Do I want to sacrifice that pawn right now to kind of mess up white's pawn structure? It's an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. And it's an idea. I'm going to just play queen c7. I add some support this way and this way. And so now I can probably move my knight and get the bishop out, I think is fine. Okay. That move I like to see because now there's a weakness that I can work with. So I'm going to probably jump the knight like this is my thought. I'm going to actually do that right away. Also lets my bishop out. I can maybe move the bishop out. Hop the knight in like this. Looks pretty good. If I can actually trade that and then jump the knight into d4, that looks pretty powerful. Yeah, he's going to try to do that, but maybe I can actually trade that bishop off somehow. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, okay. Yeah, do I want to bring the bishop out first and then the knight there? Or just leave it? Because I don't want it to become a target, is what I'm afraid of. If the knight moves somewhere and then I have to like get chased around, is that going to be a problem? Maybe I will just leave it for right now. He wants to play d4. I really don't want to allow that. Really don't want to allow that. If I go bishop c5, takes. c5 would definitely guarantee that d4 doesn't happen. Then I open up this square. Now it's going to be a little while, but eventually the knight could make its way there. If it really wanted to. I do have a bishop. I could trade it off. Might be worth it. This is another way to do it. All right, let's go this way. I don't know if this is the right decision, but I'm going to try this instead. You can play it, but then I'm going to say that, you know, these pawns might become weaknesses, basically. Oh, I'm giving that option to white. If they don't play it, then I might actually start piling up. This is a backward pawn in chess. Usually is a good target. Okay, he's not going to do it. At least not right now. Looks like he maybe wants to come over here. Might be a good time for me to pile up on this guy. Go ahead and do that. Backward pawn. Probably going to go here. I think I'm going to jump back. Could also take, but... Yeah, I think I'm going to go here. So stopping d4, because I have 1, 2, 3. Only has 2 defenders. And then I'm going to jump in next move. And even if the knights get traded, I'll still have a rook, and then a queen, and then another rook, and a triple battery. And there's going to be tactics that open up. Guaranteed, if I get that position. So that's the plan. I don't really see a way that white can stop that easily. He's going to try to bring some firepower, but that's okay. Here we go. We jump in with the knight. Do not take with the pawn. Absolutely not. You take with the rook, because this is a target. I don't want to give up my target by taking here. That would be a huge mistake. He's going to try to counterattack. It's probably smart. So I can prevent that by queen b6 temporarily. Pretty easy for him to deal with, though. So queen here. I need to get the bishop out. Yeah, f4. It's a good move trying to counterattack. Bishop e6. f5. Could play f6, actually. That might be a good plan. All right, let's do that. I'm going to go here because I need the other rook. I'm expecting this, and I'm going to probably just play f6 to defend it. I don't want to take and then allow these pawns to just push forward. But this way, I'm pretty happy with that. Then this guy comes over, and I start to build up the pressure on that weak pawn. If I can capture that, these pawns become weak, and everything starts falling apart. Okay, we're going to take with the pawn. Interesting. Okay, so he doesn't have anything to do just yet with those rooks. So I'm going to just continue the plan and go here. So that's the threat, although actually it's not a threat just yet because there's a little checkmate tactic. So I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. If this rook ever moves, that's checkmate. But we are going to watch that. I might play queen b6 to line up here. I might play queen d6 to triple battery here. I might play h6 to give my king an escape square. Ah, he goes back. That's not a good move. It's not a good move because now it's a pin. So I think I can actually just take this. And this is what I was talking about, tactics opening up. Pawn can't move. It means the queen would have to take, but the queen can't take. And so it's just a free pawn, and then I'm going to win this too. So let's verify. Uh-huh. Okay. Gonna just give up the rook. Okay. So at this point, I'm thinking check and queen here. Queen trade would be fine because I'm up the material. And then I'm also attacking a bunch of things. Could also go here and force a rook trade. The only issue with that is I'm going to lose this. Oh, no, it's defended. Never mind. So I could just do that. So which one is better? Yeah, maybe I will just force the rook trade, actually. Basically just forcing the position to be simplified and take advantage of my material lead. Go ahead and trade. Again, I'm thinking about this, maybe followed by the rook coming over. Looks pretty powerful. Let's do that. So check. And then I could even come down here depending on where the king moves to. He goes there. Okay, so let's go rook f8 now. And notice how we're just taking control of those files and diagonals, right? Sorry. Files and diagonals. And white is running out of moves very quickly. Let's go here. Forcing the trade. And pretty straightforward at this point. Okay. Don't blunder the fork. That's how you would lose the game, right? But I'm going to go ahead and take care of that problem right now. Put my king on a dark square. There's no more blundering there. Here we go. Here's another pawn. And all right, there we go. Pretty well played game, I think. Let's take a look at the game review. And you won. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Especially in an opening that I wasn't familiar with. And this is a good example. Like if you're playing an opening that you're not familiar with, a lot of times it's better to just don't try to get too fancy. Just kind of try to sit back, play solid moves. And a lot of times that's going to be your best option. So what did that look like in this game? I was hoping to see knight to c3, and I'm comfortable with bishop to b4. But we didn't get that, and so I had to just say, okay, what are some logical moves? Knight f6, d5. Take it. Trade, right? You know, develop a bishop. You gifted 50 memberships? Wow. Barack, thank you. I guess almost everybody watching gets a membership now. Wait, what is that? 121? Well, I would say it's safe to say we achieved the goal for this stream. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's funny. Everybody say thanks to Barack for that. Cool. All right. I forgot what I was even saying. Yeah, just playing solid moves, trying to, not do anything real fancy. I castled. I just played c6, logically just trying to shut down the bishop. Noticing where the open files are in the position. Fisher, hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody's still claiming the memberships. That's funny. All right. So because of this rook b1 move, I was just keeping an eye on this, and so that's why I delayed the bishop development. Also, I didn't want it to become like a target on some of these other squares, even here, maybe the knight at some point. And so sometimes you can do that depending on the opening. And so yeah, we had a pretty nice position, and then right here, I think, yeah, white kind of didn't understand the danger of this happening here. This was very dangerous once I got this position right here. And 9 times out of 10, if you can get a battery like this on a backward pawn, very, very difficult to defend. There's usually tactics that are going to pop up. We saw that in this game with bishop takes c4. There could have been other ones. So let's say white would have went, I don't know, here. I could still pile up. And let's say they go here. Again, now there's this one. Also bishop takes here. Even rook takes here as a move, looks like. They just pop up, right? So, yeah. Big thank you to Barack. Oh, it ran out. Is it just random? Yeah. All right. You know what? I was gonna end the stream, but after that, I think I'll have to do another puzzle or something. Let me find another puzzle for you guys. Let's find one that you should maybe be able to solve with the knowledge that you learned in the last one. Okay. How about this one? Let me see this one. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let me get my analysis board. By the way, did I update the wins? Am I a win behind? Can't remember. Hey, welcome to Stalematers. Barnabas. Appreciate you. Your first stream and first membership. Nice. Nice. Where was the miss? The miss was F6. It's one of those... Yeah, it's one of those weird moves that Stockfish doesn't like. It wanted me to do this. Oh, because I'm threatening this, so you can't play F5. And if this, I'm also threatening this. Yeah, it just wanted me to accelerate my plan, essentially, and not even worry about White's threats. But very small difference. I don't know why it's calling it a miss. It's, yeah, a very small amount of evaluation change there. 210. It is 210. Okay. Can you see how many memberships are gifted instead of regularly purchased? I don't think I can see that. That's a good question. I think it just shows memberships. So yeah, I wouldn't actually know. Although, yeah, actually, I don't think it's. I have to look into that, but I don't think so. To answer your question, I think it doesn't show me that. Okay, let me go to the analysis board for this puzzle. All right, here we go. So let me actually go back to the. No, I'll leave the eval bar on. You can see the eval bar. Okay, so here's the position. Clear the board. King is here. Black pawns are here and here and here. White pawn is here. And the king is here. And there you go. White to play and not lose, despite the fact that black has 3 pawns. Pretty incredible. You can see the eval bar. It is a draw. What is the move, and more importantly, why? What's the move and why? I mean, there's only 4 legal moves in the game. So there you go. Those are your choices. Only 4 legal moves. King G6 to stop all the pawns. That's what somebody says. Okay. So that's a good thought. But are you actually stopping all the pawns? Would be my question to you guys. Are you actually stopping all the pawns if you do this? I mean, let's say black goes here. King B6. What do you do now? What do you do now? Get the queen. The pawns can't move in time. No, you're not in time to get the queen because the black king is going to stop you. Even if you moved it right away, the king was going to come and take it. So you can't do that. Pawn move? You think you push the pawn here? Because I'm going to tell you guys something. If you lose this pawn, you're not stopping all 3 pawns with just your king. There's no way. Because the black king is going to come over and help. Right? And if you take this, guess what? But what's the deal? How is it a draw? Black's pawns are going this way. Okay, I see a few people saying the right move. See a few people. So, For those of you who said king takes g7, you are correct. Now, why in the world would we do this? Because we have now just created 2 passed pawns for black. And our pawn is basically gone, right? It's going to get captured. What's going on? Somebody explain it to me. One of my new members explain it to me. King takes g7 is a blunder? No, this is not a blunder. This is the only move. This is the only move. You can see the eval bar. It's a draw. Only move. King takes g7. Question is why? Alan has no idea. So black has a couple of options. Let's say that they start by just taking your pawn. This is the easy one, right? If they take your pawn now, what do? Well, you take this one, and you're going to catch this guy, right? That's pretty straightforward. The tricky part is what if they push the pawn? And you're not catching that guy. So what do you do now? Next move, you take one of the pawns. Then since the black king has to take the pawn, you get one extra move. Because of the crooked path, you're able to stop both. Very good. Yes. Yes. That's correct. And a couple of you were saying that. So it has to do with the crooked path yet again. We take this, and we are kind of, again, instead of just chasing this pawn like this, we're going to chase it like this, right? We're going to chase it like this. But at the same time, we're going to be coming over here to help this guy, which we've seen before, right? But we're not doing it like this. We're doing it like this, okay? So we're basically doing 2 different crooked paths sort of in the middle, and then we, depending on what black does, we branch off with our king, and we go wherever we need to. It's amazing, right? It's amazing when you look at this position that you can save the game. It's absolutely incredible. And it shows you the power of the crooked path. What about f5? What about well, actually, sorry. Let me finish the line I was showing you. So we go here. If black pushes the pawn, we keep doing it, right? We keep chasing until black gives us an option one way or the other to either get the queen or catch the pawn. If they take us, well, we no longer have an option to do that. But guess what? We're in time to catch the pawn. Remember the trick. You make the box. Can we step into the box? Yes, we can. Any of these moves would be fine. Okay? Any of these moves. Catch the pawn. The other option, black says, I'm going to keep pushing so you can't catch me. Then we abandon that strategy at the right moment, and we say, okay, I'm going to go over here. Guess what? Now I'm going to get my own queen. You get a queen, I get a queen. Game is a draw, right? And even if black goes here, we go here. Same thing. We've seen this kind of in the other position, okay? Now, the trickiest line, probably of all of them, is if black plays not h5, but f5. So, now what do we do? What do we do now? Because now there's something different that you might pick up on if you were tracking. Knight versus queen, a draw? No. Knight versus queen is a loss for the knight. The queen's too powerful. Queen will win. King takes the pawn, somebody said. Okay. Chase the pawn on f5, somebody said. Okay. What's up, Noah? King f6, probably. Yeah. So here's the problem. Let's actually start with this first, because a couple people have said this. Take the pawn, right? And some people are saying king g6. So there's really 3 options. You guys are correct. These are the 3 choices, right? Let's start with the obvious one. What happens if we take the pawn? Well, now black says, okay, I'm going to push my pawn. You can't catch it, right? We need to be able to get into this box. We're not in time. We're just a move late. But we're also too far to help our pawn. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 moves, and black only needs 3 to get a queen. So even if we try to do the crooked path thing and then come back over this way, we're too late. Black gets the queen. We're not in time. We lose. Okay? So in this example, you don't have time to take this. Now, let's talk about these 2 moves. King to f6 basically is doing the crooked path again keeping an eye on this guy. You're keeping that as an option because you're moving a little bit closer, and you're still chasing down the pawns. You guys tracking? So for example, on f4, what do? Well, king to e5. Same thing. We're chasing down the most furthest advanced pawn, but at the same time, we're keeping an eye on this guy. And we might at any moment say, you know what, I'm going to come back here. And I guess the other part of this that we didn't really talk about is, even though black has the extra pawn, this is still a draw. Because the queen is so powerful, you're going to be able to probably just do a bunch of checks at some point, or black's going to have to keep checking you, and they don't really have time to push this pawn. So that's something that you kind of needed to understand as well. So that's basically the idea. Now, what if black says, okay, you know what? I'm going to push a different pawn. Doesn't really matter. Our plan is basically the same. We could still capture the pawns. So even though temporarily we don't take it, we're always keeping an eye on it, right? But we have to understand what's the priority in the position. The priority is this guy and giving the option here, which is why you have to go king to f6, okay? If you play king to g6, what's the problem? f4, king to f5, f3, king here. And notice we are too far from the pawn again, right? And by the time we get back, that one extra move is what we needed, basically. So only move, king to f6, and then, of course, if black takes, you're simply going to take and go get the pawn like that. And like I mentioned, you keep doing the crooked path, and then you, at some point, change your plan, right? And you either take this, or you go and you get the queen. Does that make sense? Questions, comments? Crooked path. It's an amazing concept, and most people don't know it and don't think about it at these endgames. It's not like it's super common, like every game you play, oh, I'm going to use a crooked path and win the game or whatever, but when it shows up, it's super useful to have in your, back of your mind. You didn't know the thing about the box? Yeah, that's super, super quick little trick. Rather than having to calculate, because I used to calculate when I first started, like, okay, I'm going to go here, and he's going to go here, and I'm going to go here, and he's going to go here, and I'm going to go here, and I'm not going to make it in time. So much faster to just be like, joop, joop, joop. Nope, can't get in the box, can't make it. Hey, Rob, health updates. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good to have my finger. I don't know if you guys saw that on any of the videos. I've been having some issues with my finger, of all things, my pinky finger. I pricked it. I was checking my uric acid levels for gout management and stuff. I pricked it, and it really hurt, like more than a finger prick should hurt. And it was hurting like 2-3 days later. And I started to treat it as if it was like a splinter because it just felt like there was something in there. And sure enough, I was getting like tiny little metal pieces out of my finger, which people I've talked to said they've never heard of that happening before from a needle prick, like never. So I still don't know if I've gotten it all out. I have no idea how that happened. Like I've never heard of that before. It's weird, super weird. I'm doing all kinds of crazy, like, stuff on my finger to try to get the metal pieces out. But otherwise, feeling pretty good. My legs are feeling much better the last couple days. So, yeah, overall, pretty good. Thank you for asking, Rob. Hey, welcome to Stalematers. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Drof J, maybe? Charles, hey, welcome. Appreciate you guys. We had 50 gifted memberships earlier. So, member goal got blown out of the water. Big thanks to Barack. Thank you for that. 400K subscribers live stream? Yeah, maybe. It's a good idea. It's Jefford, but backwards. Ah, Jefford backwards. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks, Charles. You're welcome. I'm glad they're helpful. It's relentless on the up and up, though. Yeah. Yep. Super weird, but yeah. Hopefully, I'll get this finger figured out. No, but if I have to choose, I would take this over all the other stuff. So I'm glad that it's getting better. Want a 1v1? No, and I'm not gonna 1v1 right now. I'm gonna end here in a minute. You're stuck at 1200. What to do? Yeah, 1200 is kind of where everybody gets stuck. So you got to either put in the time to improve at your tactics, learn some openings, learn some basic endings. You got to figure out why you're losing. That's the first thing that I would say. Look at like the last 20 games and specifically try to find why did I lose all 20 of these games. I like to use spreadsheets, so make an Excel spreadsheet, put it in there. I lost because I made a blunder. I lost because I lost on time or I got into time pressure. I lost because I didn't understand the end game. I lost because of an opening trap. Literally, whatever it is, figure out like the main reason that you lost. Put it in a spreadsheet, and then you analyze your 20 games and you say, oh, 15 of the games I lost on time, or 15 of the games I made a tactical blunder, or 10 of the games I lost because of an end game thing, and 10 I lost because of an opening trap. Whatever it is, you figure out what like the big highest percentage things are, and then you get better at that. So if you need to get better at tactics and not blundering, you'd work on that. If you need to get better at end games, you work on that. Whatever it is, and that could be for any rating. That doesn't have to be just for 1200. That's like you might be 2000. You could still do that and figure out why am I losing? What do I need to work on? Oh, it's always openings, or it's always the end game. I do great, and then I get to the end game and fall apart, or it's my time management. Whatever it is, you always lose due to your internet. Yeah, that's a problem for online chess. You know what? Mac and cheese, you know what? I might actually do a chess adventures video this week. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do one this week. Yes. Make a chart for your wife with one column, lost on time. That's very true. Oh man. She's getting better though. She's getting better. She's learning. She's learning to just go with it. Her new motto is it might be a blunder. That's okay. I'm gonna play it. It might be a blunder. That's actually helped her a lot, just saying that to herself. It might be a blunder. That's okay. Not converting winning positions. Yeah. That one, Harry, I would say you want to look into it a little deeper. Like specifically, why are you not converting? So you take a game that you were supposed to win, you put it into Stockfish, you see what Stockfish said you should have played, and then you ask yourself, why did I not see that? Is it because it was like an advanced tactic? Or is it because it was like a positional concept that you didn't understand? And that one probably have to take a little bit more time to dig into. Fifth loss was from the last stream. Yeah, that's correct. That guy was super strong. That guy was super strong. Especially the end game. I was really impressed with the end game, how he just finished off the game so easily too. Those, yeah. Teach your wife scholars, but only scholars mate if there's. Oh, but if wait, scholars mate. If there's a counter, make her use her instinct. Yeah, I don't know if I think a lot of people are aware of scholars mate these days. I think she's gonna have more success in the long run with like a King's Indian type setup because that scales pretty well. As she gets better at tactics and all kinds of other stuff, she can keep playing that setup and it's gonna be pretty solid for her. You lose because of tilt. Yeah, that's a valid reason. You would have to probably make a rule for yourself, like only playing when you're winning. So if you win a game, you can play another game. If you lose, you have to stop. That's what I would do. What do you think when you're in the middle game? It feels like every move isn't good. Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes that happens. And I think, was it Bobby Fischer maybe who said like a lot of times he finds moves by process of elimination. So you just look around and you're like, nope, that's a bad move. Oh, that's a bad move. Oh, that creates a weakness over there. That creates a weakness over there. All right, only move left to play is random king move or a random rook move or like sometimes that's okay. Like sometimes that's the best move in the position, right? And so yeah, I mean, don't be afraid of process of elimination. Find all the bad moves, don't play them. Play something else. 50 membership honor title is still there. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna stay there for a while. So it's like $3. So yeah, it's like $150 basically. So it's gonna stay there for a while. That's why I'm trying to stick around. Let some of the new members use their membership for a little bit. I speak Spanish, a little bit. Not as much as I should, considering my name. Once you find a good move, look for a better one. Yep, that could be true, especially as you get better and better at tactics. When you're first starting out, you know, look for good moves and play them. But as you get better, then yes, definitely want to take it to the next level. From India, hey, thanks, Arun. You've climbed from 1,200 to 1,500 in 2 months. Awesome. Nice. I'm going to try for International Master. Not anytime soon. I'm going to try to get to where I can exercise again and like go for a run and play racquetball and stuff first, and then we'll see about titles later. Looking for better moves causes time trouble. Yep, sometimes that's true. You got to judge how long is the game you're playing, how much time do you have. Sometimes it just makes sense to go with your instinct. Hey, it's Barack. 375 Turkish. I don't know what that is, which is not $150. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that either. Huh. Okay, well, whatever it is, I appreciate it. How do you become an international master? You have to get your rating to a certain level, and then you have to go to tournaments that have a certain number of strong players in them, grandmasters and whatnot, and you have to score a certain score. So I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Let's just say it's a 9-round tournament. Maybe you have to get at least 6 points or 6.5 points or whatever. I have to verify the numbers, but if you score that in a tournament that has enough grandmasters or whatever, you get what's called a norm, international master norm, and then you have to get, I think, 3 in a certain amount of time, and you become an international master. So get your rating up there. Go to those tournaments. Oh my goodness, Barack, thank you. All right, all right. Let me add this up. 174. Well, there you go, guys. If you missed it before, good thing you stuck around. Barack is feeling very generous today. Oh my goodness. 50, 50, 50. Did you just give 200 memberships? What is happening? That's another 100? Is your name secretly Mr. Beast? I'm just wondering. Are you like undercover Mr. Beast? Is that what's happening right now? I think he gifted another 100 because it's showing up 4 times. 274? I'm going to have to get my calculator out here in a second. Okay. Well, your chances are pretty good of getting a membership now if you're in the stream. Okay, so before I was like reading only the people's chat, who was highlighted because they were a member, but now like everybody's a member. How am I going to filter it out now? It's a good problem to have. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. 324. If I can do math. YouTube can't even keep up giving them out money. Oh man. Let's play some chess while we're getting all these. I'm just watching the screen right now. I don't want to look away. There's so Hey, thanks, Brock. Appreciate you. I really do. Hold on a minute. I know I'm a member without being subscribed. Is that normal? It's a good question. I don't know. I guess so. I guess you can be a member without being subscribed. Never tried that. Click the green box at the top of chat and allow gifts. Oh, yeah, I guess if you haven't allowed gifts, you should do that. Or type claim, maybe? So funny. Close to $600. Yeah. Did he do it again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even see him at all. I'm even losing track if I even have the right number of 375, which is $14. So as far as I know, the lowest membership tier that I have is $3, $2.99. So yeah, I mean by my math, that's several $100s. So I don't know. I have no idea. This is new to me. Nope, no, I've never had someone give 250 memberships before. I don't know. There's still 175 to go. Is it? Stream dedicated to Barack. Yeah, we might have to make a special video here for Barack. Is it depositing into your account properly? I don't even know if I can see that yet. That's a good question. Now I'm curious. Now I'm actually curious. Yes, I did. Did get a treat. Let me see if it's gonna load. YouTube is see. Wow, Studio is like frozen for some reason. It can't process all the memberships, so it's just too slow right now. That's what's happening, I guess. It's like wait, I need to process this. There's too many memberships. Yeah, it's not showing it. Let me see. What if I go here? How many members does it show that I have? Nope. Yep. It shows that I have 349 members. Yeah, but it doesn't show an increase in revenue. I think it's just, I think it takes some time. I think it's delayed. Maybe it'll show up tomorrow or something. I don't know. Revenue doesn't show any higher, so I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, you know what? I was going to end, but I guess I have to play a few more games for Barack. Guess we have to. Saw my wife win. She was disappointed because of resignation. Those are the best wins because they see it coming and know they can't stop it. Yeah, she really wants to win by checkmate. She said she wants to win by checkmate. So, all right, let me just text my wife because we were gonna go to lunch, but I think one of our kids is still sleeping anyway. So let me just text her to let me know when I have to stop. Okay. Just letting her know. Okay. Let me do some stretches here for a second. Hey, Matt. How's it going? Apple cider. What's going on? As you can see, if you're just tuning in, Barack has basically given everyone a membership. So appreciate you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm seeing it 5 times. Is that right? Are you guys seeing that too? 5 times? So that should be 250 members? 5 times? Apple cider sees 4. You're seeing 4. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of glitchiness going on. Because I see it 5 times. Weird. Okay, yeah, 4 makes sense because it says new members 209. Okay, okay. Thanks. I don't know. I guess it duplicated it or something when he was doing like 2 back to back. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. I'll just play another game then, since Barack is here giving everybody memberships. Let's play another game. Why not? Member goal 324. All right. It was too fast for YouTube. Yeah, apparently. Money, money, money. Yeah. I do have a lot of medical bills to pay, so it'll come in handy. And we're back. Here we go. Any requests? Any requests? E4? You only see 4, you have to arrow back? Oh, really? Interesting. G6. G6. Let's get the center. It's always a good way. D6. All right, I'm going to try to play a particular setup here. We'll see if we can do it. Okay, yes. I'm going to play F3. I'm going to play Queen to D2. I did a video on this several months ago. It's called the Lion's Claw or Lion's Jaw, something like that. And basically, you're creating this battery, and you're going to immediately go over here, especially if they castle B6. Well, that's not a normal move. What happened to me medically? Oh, it's not personal. I have videos on the channel. Got a blood clot, had gout, COVID, all kinds of weird stuff with my legs. Yeah, and finally getting better. Okay. Bruno, hey, welcome. 325. So B6 is a weird move. Normally, if they castle, you're going to go here and you're going to like attack right away. I might still go there because you can still create some weaknesses and whatnot. This is interesting. I think I still am going to go there. So now it's different. Now we've prevented castling. And we have to attack the king in the center if we're going to do it. But I'm not ready yet. I don't have enough pieces set up. So we're going to start by developing. Going here, by the way, doesn't really do much because rook g8 and you have to go back. Everything's defended nicely. But that could be useful if I pair it with something else, maybe like a knight or something. I think I'm going to go ahead and castle. And now I'm going to start to think about maybe attacking the center. My king is now out of the way. I have some pieces ready to go. Now it's a different story. E5. Interesting. Very interesting. So instead of locking it up, I think I want to trade this and allow the knight to come out. I could also just delay a little bit. Maybe I'll do that actually. And get my knight out here first. Because if I take, the knight comes in. That's not terrible, actually. I could just do that right away. I could also think about this. Bishop c4. There's a lot of ways to do this. Yeah, maybe I will play knight h3. Because this could be a very powerful threat if I pair this together somehow like this. So I am going to go ahead and... Okay, now it looks like black wants to try to get away. So now it's a question of, can I stop that from happening? Go ahead and trade now. And maybe bishop to b5, because c6 is going to be very weakening on the queen side, and if the king's going to go there, that's going to give me opportunities to attack it. So that's what I'm leaning towards. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's a developing move anyway. Now the rook can come over, and like I said, on c6, it's much more. It's going to be much easier to attack the king that way. Panda, your first membership. Yeah, you and 200 other people. Okay. Interesting. So now what I'm thinking is knight to d5. Why am I thinking knight to d5? Because if the knight takes, I take back. This is pinned. Look at that. That's pinned. The knight can't take me, which means the queen has to move, but then there's too many things for black to deal with. I think we just won the game. Knight to d5. I think it's that simple. I do believe. You see the problem, right? You have to move the queen, but you also have to save this and save this. And you can't take because I take back and you're hit here. Even a6 doesn't work because I'm going to get 2 pieces and I'm going to only lose 1. On top of that, I could even go here and win the queen. So however you look at it, it's not good. Oh, queen d8. Yeah, why did I not think about that square? It is a move. Still though, knight to b4, and I don't know how black saves the knight. Queen d7, but then I have e5. Hold on. Yeah, I think we got to go here. Queen d7, e5. What does black do against e5? You can't take. You can't take. So you have to move the knight. So where do you move the knight to? You can't go there or there or there. Can't go there or there. You can't go there because of this. So you have to go here. Then I could trap the knight for one thing. Or shove the pawn forward or trade. Lots of good options. Let's go ahead. Go ahead with e5. And now black is in trouble. For multiple reasons. The pin. King's about to be opened up. The knight is trapped if I want to do that. I can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. So that's just looks like it wins a piece. This takes, don't really see a follow-up. Takes, king might be able to escape in that scenario. So yeah, I think I will just take the free piece and be happy. Oh, but my knight's going to be hanging. I just noticed that. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky, but there's still the pin here. So black probably can't do that without losing the piece. Or maybe I trade first. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to trade first, then take this. Okay. If I take this way, there is this move. So let's actually start with the bishop. This guarantees a double trade. And then we take the knight. Okay, there we go. And then this, not really worried about that move. Everything looks good. Okay, great. Great. Okay, yep. So he does get his king to safety, but it costs them a knight, which is a big deal. So now I'm looking for trading. As it takes me closer to the end of the game, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead, trade this off. I'll be happy to trade in a pair of rooks as well, if black wants to. And even open up some opportunities over here with queen g7. Let's go ahead and do that, like I mentioned. So queen g7, I don't want to allow black to get too much counterplay and start having threats that I have to deal with. That's one thing that I definitely don't want to do. So with that in mind, I think I might... I want to go here, but then I lose this pawn. I do want to be careful. Even though I'm up a piece, I still want to be careful. Maybe queen f4. Why queen f4? Shuts down this, threatens a trade, attacks that, brings my queen to a better square, right? My queen is kind of stuck on the edge of the board. So yeah, let's do that. let's bring it back here. Notice immediately it's controlling so many more things, right? Giving me all kinds of options, even like that, like this. Knight's under attack, so we do have to watch out for that. I could go queen e4, sack the knight, follow it up with a check, and take the rook. Looks very good. Let's do it. Barack is back with another 50 memberships. I think we're at 375. I think. Oh my. Now's your chance, guys. Get one of those memberships. Okay. All right. Where's my calculator? Where's my calculator? It keeps going up. Oh man. Queen f6. What is this move? Oh, he's defending his rook. Smart, smart, smart. He's defending his rook. Wow, Barack, thank you. Okay, so I guess what we need to do is probably activate the rook. Check. The king comes out. Actually, maybe there's going to be some sort of a checkmate. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually go attack the king. And now we're hunting the king here, basically. And of course, the queen trade is good for me too because I have the extra knight. So lots of so like this. This is totally fine. I can trade queens. I don't have to trade queens, but probably will trade queens. Could also go here. This is an interesting move too. Trying to pin the queen like that, but just c5 is probably okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump the knight in. Maybe I'll force the queen trade this way so that my knight can take here. What I didn't want to do was allow the rook to come in and get some kind of crazy counterplay. So, rock's on fire. Yeah, you could say that again. All right, let's jump over here, and now we can clean up. The knight is going to be too strong. Yeah. All right, good game to our opponent. Yeah, Lion's Jaw. That's what it's called. The Lion's Jaw. That's what we played. And that was pretty fun. So let's do a quick review here. Okay, 88, 83. Not too bad. We go eval bar, and what is going on here? So that like the normal line would be something like this. They castle. You bring the bishop in right away. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, you want to trade this bishop off because when somebody plays a King's Indian and they fee and kettle like this bishop is like the best defender of their king. It controls all those dark squares. But if you trade that off, all of a sudden, your queen can infiltrate and you get another piece over there and you could start threatening checkmate and whatnot. So that's the number one reason. Number two reason why we go here is it stops this move h5. So I can play h4 myself, h5, and black's not going to be able to do this. Don't worry about the question mark. Stockfish doesn't always know what it's talking about. So especially in the opening. So we're going here for two reasons. Trade off the bishop, and then we want to push our h-pawn, and we don't want it to get shut down by h5. For example, if I play h4, black can play h5 if they want. And it's much more difficult for me to keep attacking, because yes, I can play g4, but I'm going to have to do it by sacrificing a pawn, which is probably not good. Now black's pieces are coming in, and it's not easy to keep attacking, right? Because black just has a nice blockade and I lost all my pawns and it's just not that good. So that's why we do this, okay? Bishop h6. Now, let's just say, for example, black tries to strike at the center, which is what a lot of people do. h4, we're just going to keep attacking. Let's say they take. We're going to keep attacking, h5. And there's actually a trap here. If they take you, white to play and win the game. What's the move? What is the move? Meanwhile, memberships are being claimed left and right or being passed out at random. This is a moment that Chess Vibes subscribers will remember for a long time. When Barack gifted like 300 something memberships. Oh, claim doesn't do anything. You have to click become a member and enable gifts. Okay. Good to know. If you guys are trying that, enable gifts. That's what you need to do. Queen G5. There you go. I see it. I see it. Today is Barack Day. Yes, Queen G5. So there's this little idea of checkmate. And the only way black can stop it is by playing knight to e8. Then they lose their queen. So however you look at it, black's position falls apart. So they can't take you. They have to do something else. Let's say they bring their knight out. And now what you're going to do is trade. And they have to be careful again. If they take the wrong way, boom, queen comes in, checkmate. They have to take this way. But you can still keep up the pressure with bishop c4. And it's just a fun opening. You get to attack the king. It's not like totally winning. Black can survive if they know what they're doing. But it's still pretty fun. You know, your queen can come in and the game goes on, right? You got to develop and probably castle and move your knights around and try to figure out a way to get rid of this guy so you can checkmate or something. But it's a fun opening. So what if he takes with the knight on h5? Ah, good question. Right here. Good question. What if he takes with the knight? What do you guys think we should do here? Any ideas? That's actually a better move. Yeah, it's a better move. There's some cases. Actually, let me show you this. So when they played e5, if they would have played c5, because some people like to do this pawn instead, there's actually, in this example, a really nice move. Now, it doesn't exist if they play e5, but I want to show it to you. What's the move in this position? What is this opening? It's called the Lion's Jaw. I have a video on it on the channel, Lion's Jaw. How long do you get the membership for? I think it's for 1 month. Yeah, I think it's for 1 month. So I guess you can extend it, or it probably just expires automatically, I imagine, after the month. Barack. All right. Sacrifice the rook. Yes. Yes. And it's the same idea that we saw before. Once you clear that out of the way, boom, queen g5. And the game is over. I mean, I guess black can survive if they want to sacrifice their queen, but you get the point, right? So the other version that we looked at with e5, I guess you can't do the same tactic because you can't play queen g5 because it's covered. So Stockfish in this case says you just play g4, you chase the knight back, then you trade, and you bring the queen in, and I guess you just develop now. Knight e2, knight d2, castles, and the game goes on, but you've opened up the h-file. Extremely dangerous for black to play, and they have to constantly be on the lookout for not getting checkmated. So lots of fun, in my opinion. Good question, though. Good question. All right. I need to just stand up and stretch my legs. Hold on. Leg is getting much better. Let me give you guys a puzzle. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Let me give you guys a puzzle. Let me see if I can find... Oh, this one might be interesting. Oof. Oof. Okay. Okay, I found one, but it looks like it's a little on the difficult side, but I think you guys can handle it. Let me pull it up for you real quick. Analysis board. So the white king is here. We're sticking with the theme for this stream of the king and pawn endings. Okay, the king is here. And the pawn is here. Okay. Another one of those white to play and not lose. White to play and not lose. Your pawn is here. Black's pawn is here. And you do not have a good position with your king. But you can save the game. As you can see, the eval bar there is equal. What's the winning move? I'm sorry, I keep saying that. What's the drawing move? What's the drawing move? I'm going to do a poll while I go to the bathroom here, I guess. You got king to g5. You've got king to g6. Or, sorry, king to g6. Let me just go in order. King to g5, king to g4. That's what I wanted to do. And a4. Okay, I just did a poll for you guys. Go ahead, think it through. Options are 1, 2, 3, and 4. What's white's drawing move? And I will be back in a minute or two. All right, what did I miss? What did I miss? Robin upgraded their membership. Awesome. Did I miss anything else? Did Barack give like another 50 members? Okay. All of chat are members. Yeah, basically. All right. Let's see what the poll says. A4 is coming in as the top move, it looks like. What about your Spanish chess channel? Hey, that's a good question. YouTube deleted it. And they didn't tell us why. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah. I don't really have much to say about it. They deleted it and like, okay. I mean, it wasn't, my dad made it and he was doing the translating and they deleted it. So, okay. A4 is the top voted move. And then, wow, it's actually pretty even. Lots of different votes. Yeah. This is a very difficult puzzle. So, A4 king can't stop it. Somebody says. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. You guys did not get the correct one, but all it was close. It was close. The winning move, I'm sorry, the drawing move is king to g4. Now, can we understand why? This is a new one for me, so I'm figuring it out as we go. Let's start with a4. This is how I would figure out a puzzle if I was doing it for the first time. I would say, okay, why does this move lose? And I would follow what Stockfish says. It says the king's going to come over. Okay. And if you push, the king's probably just going to come and get it. Okay. And take your pawn. Fine. And then this is going to be winning for black. And the reason it's going to be winning is because black's king is able to get in front of the pawn. And this is a pretty well-known endgame. If your king is in front of the pawn like this, you're going to have probably going to be able to win. It would be different if the pawn was here and the king was here, if they were flipped. Okay, but they're not. So that's sort of like one thing. If you just push the pawn all the way, that's what's going to happen. Okay. What happens if you go, let's just say, here? Like what's the winning line for black? I'm going to look at this so that I can understand why king g4 is the winning move. Oh, the box that I taught you guys? Yeah. The box is this, right? Boom, boom, boom. Very, very obvious the king can catch the pawn. It's already inside the box, right? So why is this not a good move? Black plays c5, so they start pushing their pawn. And let me see if there's a line over here. Yes, this one. Let's follow this one here. Okay. And then we start pushing our pawn, let's say, because we want to do a little... Basically, if we can clear the king out of the way, then maybe our king can come and get this pawn, is the idea, right? Black's going to play c4. Okay, let me see this one over here. c5, c3. Okay, so we keep pushing. We keep pushing. We go. Ah, do you guys see? I didn't realize it right away. Now I see. You see that? It's a check. Yes, black queens with a check. So now we can probably understand, going back to the beginning, why this is the correct move. Although I do want to see what happens with king g6. This one's probably the king's just too far away, right? Like you're not going to be able to make a beeline for this eventually. Because if you try to come around, the king is in your way. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Okay, I think it kind of makes sense. But we still have to understand, how do you draw here after king g4? So let me see. What is black's best response here? The best response for black is king to d3. And what black is doing is kind of the same thing that we talked about. The explain a4 again. Specifically, what's your question about a4? Basically, black just goes and catches it if you're just pushing it. So if there's a more specific question, you can ask it. But basically, the king just hunts down your pawn. So king to d3, what black is doing is kind of a crooked path of like, they want to keep an eye on our pawn. If we move it 2 spaces, here's the box, right? They're still able to step into the box, but at the same time, they're trying to box out our king for when they start pushing their pawn. Does that make sense? So black is wanting to do 2 things at the same time. Very similar to what we saw before. So, white to play and draw. What's the move for white? What's the move for white? All right, so I'm seeing king f5 and I'm seeing king f3. Okay. So you guys are correct about avoiding this square because we've already kind of seen that. We don't want to step into the check, right? But there is a big question of which way do we go, right? So if we follow the same train of thought as before, you might be tempted to say king to f3. The issue is that now this happens. And then I guess we start to push. And this happens. We start to push. This happens. We start to push. This happens. Start to push. This happens. We get the queen. Okay, great. Should be a draw, right? Ah, somebody said it. Yes. Yes. It's a skewer. Boom. Look at that. If you've ever seen the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer, this is very similar to what happened in that game. They calculated this line, and the one person, thought they were going to get a queen in time. And then there was this skewer, just like this, where somebody moved the queen, and when the king had to move out of the way, bam, you lose your queen. Okay. So that is why we can't go to f3. So now we can't go to f4 because of the check. We can't go to f3 because of the skewer. So where do we go? We go to f5. Okay. Keep going. What is black going to play? Black's going to play c5. Try to push down the board. Now what do we play? What's the move for white now? Only 267 likes? What, we have more memberships than likes? Come on, guys. Come on. You got to at least like it if you got a free membership. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's more new members than there are likes for the stream. That's funny. That's funny. What's the move? Let's see. Somebody said king e5. Okay. a4. Okay. a4, king e5. Oh, yeah. There you go. Now the likes are going up. I see it. 317. There you go. Nice. Okay. a4 or king here. Well, let's, let me see. I have a cheat sheet over here. Make sure I don't miss any interesting lines. Yes. So you do have to play a4. Now, let's try to figure out why is this the case. What happens if you go here? Pawn pushes. You're not going to be able to catch it. And what you've done is you've wasted time to where now 1, 2, 3, 4. You need 5 moves, and black only needs 3. You're never going to win this race. Black wins. So you can't wait that long. So, sorry. That's not the correct line. Here we go. King f5. Yes. King f5, c5. Okay. So you wasted too much time. So you have to play a4. And now, if black were to decide to start the pawn race again, look what's going to happen. Boom, boom. They get the queen, but you also get the queen. There's no skewer. You're not losing your queen. It's not in check or whatever. It's just a draw. Okay? However, when we play a4, black says, no, no, no. I'm going to play king to c4. And again, it gets tricky because what is black trying to do? Black is trying to say, if you push your pawn, guess what? I'm going to get it. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? King e5. King e4. Which one is it? Which one is it? Good question. All right, the correct move is king to e4, not king to e5. The reason is black is going to go here, tax their pawn. We can try to come over, but they push it. And if we push, they push. And if we push, they push. And watch what happens. What do you guys notice? What do you notice? We've seen it before, right? There's the skewer. So, how does this help us? How does this change what I just showed you? That's the big question. Black's going to probably do the same thing. Come over here. What do we do? What do we do? Yeah, you guys are seeing it. By going to e4, remember, before we were here, we only had one option really that was any good, going this way to try to hunt the pawn down and stop it. But now we can go to d3. And guess what? If we get in front of the pawn, we can stop the pawn. So for example, if black pushes, we go here. And now we can actually draw the game. Remember earlier I said the king had to be in front of the pawn. In this position, the king is behind. This is a draw. So it's different. The other thing, what's the other thing that black could play? If they try to box us out, now we can go for the race. Check. We move so that we don't get it checked again. And here you go. There's no skewer. So essentially, to kind of summarize this puzzle, going all the way back to the beginning, Black was trying to box us out, at the same time keeping an eye on our pawn and threatening to get a queen. We are trying to chase and stay as close as we can, but we had to do it in a very specific way that avoided not only the check from the queen, right? So we had to avoid those squares. We also had to avoid the skewer along this diagonal. So we had to like avoid these squares. Isn't that interesting, guys? You had to essentially, you know, chase the king, but avoid the squares in such a specific way, right? Super fascinating when you kind of understand it. And I didn't even really get that until here at the end. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go really soon. But thank you, Barack, for the 300 something. I think it was 300 memberships. What's for lunch? I don't actually know yet. I'm gonna let my wife pick, or I don't know. She had some place I think in mind. We're gonna take our kids and go somewhere where we can walk around a little bit. The hard part is knowing before moving a4. Yeah, it is. That's very difficult to just figure out over the board, for sure. Always afraid of trading pieces. Yeah, trading pieces is kind of something you just get used to as you play more. But you also want to ask yourself the question of when you trade pieces, who has the best piece? If your piece is really good, don't trade it. If your opponent's piece is really bad, don't trade it. If it's vice versa, then yeah, trade it. So think about that too. What's your country? I'm in the United States. Stay healthy. Thanks, Alan. I'm doing my best. Got some money today. Yeah, thanks, Barack. Appreciate that. Coca-Cola Gambit? I don't actually know if I know that one. I'll have to look that one up. Do I like math? I don't mind math. It's funny, you would think chess player loves math. It was okay. It wasn't like my favorite subject. I was pretty good at it, but not like amazing. I'm better at chess than I am at math. Funnily enough. Dedicate a video to him. Yeah, I might actually do that. I might have my editor do something with the chat or whatever and make a little video out of it. Yeah, basically $900. Yep. Well, 70% of $900 because YouTube's going to take the other 30%, but I'm still thankful. All right, guys, I got to go. I'll try to answer some more questions next time. What kind of software did you write? It was a few different things, primarily Cognos reporting, if you're familiar with that. All right, Apple Cider, Hardik, Rohith. See you guys. Thanks, Barack. Appreciate you. And I think everybody else here, the other 300 people, appreciate you too. I'm curious about the conversion. We'll have to see over the next couple of days if that how that works. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. See you guys next time. It's 8 p.m. No, it's not 8 p.m. for me. It's lunchtime for me. All right. See you guys. Barack.